Welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Tim Kramer. I'm with Alfredo, Mr. Oscar time. And then we got Zach down here. What is up?
That was so fancy. I enjoyed watching that. That was so cool. When the white light opens up, like I'm going to heaven, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Good. But we want to say thanks, Zach, for joining us. So we're live right now. We got a few comments. We got Luke Ponto. Thank you for subscribing. I know Zach said you're one of his guys, so we appreciate you coming here.
That's my good buddy. Luke Ponto always comes through. Thanks, Luke. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. And then we got our stream elements. Also said thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. And then we got Derpy. Derpy's been one of our early subscribers. He's been around for a while. We got even a little soundbite for him. There you go.
Oh, that's awesome. That's Dexter's Lab, right? If I'm not mistaken.
No, it's Babu Freak from from was it the last Star Wars one?
Okay, so I am mistaken. Oh, I totally see it now. That's so funny.
Yeah. I refer. Well, oh no, he's got he's Dexter Laboratory with the thing. The soundbite was that. Yeah, so he's Dexter with like a Kylo Ren.
Yeah, the lightsaber
thing
threw me off. Yeah,
that's the picture.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Derpy's been around for a while, but he would always come in and say, hey, what's up? And then we were just always like, there you go. So but yeah, so thanks everyone for hanging out. So before we officially kind of get started into the conversation, we are going to talk about All Quiet on the Western Front and Elvis. So yeah, two movies I probably wasn't going to watch.
No, I wasn't either.
Yeah, I wasn't going to watch either of them, but kind of glad I did.
Yeah,
so,
I wanted to, but I probably wouldn't get around to it if I wasn't doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Same here. Like I see it and it says 2.5 hours. Yeah, no, not today. I'll just keep going. I'll just keep scrolling. But now since we have to do this, I'm like, okay. I'm glad I watched both of them. I'm glad I watched it. So it's great.
Yeah. Derpy said they're both well done as well.
Yeah,
I like them. And Luke, I loved Elvis. I really enjoyed All Quiet on the Western Front.
Really?
Yeah. But cool. So we're gonna cut it and we're gonna start the actual episode. Right now we're just kind of hanging out, let everyone kind of come into the stream. I know Brian said he was gonna be down in chat. He's one of the other Spoiler Kings. So yeah, I know he's gonna be down in chat hanging out probably. I think he said he's at work still, might be getting off. But cool, man. You guys ready to talk about this first movie?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. All right. Welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Tim Kramer with Alfredo and Zach. What is up, guys?
How you doing, man?
Hey.
Good. So, Zach, before we get started, appreciate you joining us. Why don't you give a quick shout out to your channel where people can catch you at?
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to talk about these movies with you guys. And I'm just at Zach Millen Talks Movies. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm on TikTok now. I actually bit the bullet and decided to give that a try. So I'm there. And I've got the Zach Millen Talks Movies podcast. I do a live show every Wednesday and convert that into a podcast. You can get that on Apple, Spotify, wherever you can get your podcast. You can pretty much find the Zach Millen Talks Movies podcast.
Nice.
Great, man.
There you go. So make sure you hit that sub button. Go over to his channel. I know it's linked in the description right here, but go give him a sub. He's super fun to talk to. I know I try to catch some of your live shows, and when I do, it's always a good conversation. So
thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, super fun. So like I said, I appreciate you being here, but we are going to talk about All Quiet Along the Western Front, a war movie, World War I, and it's kind of specifically about the Western Front area of the war. So
appropriately named. It's very well named.
Yeah. And I know a little bit about it from history. I enjoy world history a lot. World War I is always kind of quickly talked, and then everyone talks about World War II. It's kind of like the one everyone talks more about. But yeah, I know here Derpy said something real quick. So he said it's really a remake based on a book. Yeah, Yeah, so I know it's based on a book because as I was watching it on Netflix, my girlfriend's like, I read that in high school. I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't know that. So
I didn't know that either.
Me neither. Yeah. Yeah, a German strategic book. I didn't know that was a German strategic book, but that was kind of interesting. Yeah. So they were off the bat.
Can I admit something that's kind of embarrassing? I don't know if there's another version out there, but like 20 minutes into the movie, I realized that it was dubbed.
Oh yeah.
I was like watching it and I was like, wait a minute, is my TV lagging? The mouthing's a little bit. It was pretty good dubbing, if I don't say so myself. But I totally didn't realize it was a German film. Until like 20 minutes into the movie.
Yeah. I think. Well, also, there's no words until about 20 minutes into the movie because the first scenes were really great, I thought, but we don't get the first words like actually I think until about 8 or 9 minutes into the movie is when actually somebody says the
boys
first
all meet
word.
up at school. Yeah,
because we have the big war scene in the beginning, the cool fox kind of thing where like it even like the animals kind of freak out, which they kind of reference that throughout the movie at least one other time with the rats, so that was kind of cool. But that first opening scene was intense. It
really
intense. Yeah. And then Luke said something I loved about All Quiet on the Western Front is showing how brutal and scary war can be to the soldiers. Yeah,
you ain't kidding.
Especially back then. It was that was if you are squeamish with like violence and stuff, this one might not be for you because oh boy. This one is super violent. A lot more than I knew it was a war movie, so I'm like, I know it's gonna happen, but this was probably one of the more violent ones I've seen like ever.
Is it violent or gruesome? Because there's a gruesome aspect to it, especially with a tank. Crushes that one soldier.
That was wild.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that
man,
was rough.
That looked like a tomato. know. I'm like, geez, I wonder if that's what really happened.
Yeah. No, war films are always hard for me to watch sometimes because something will happen and I'm like, that was awesome. Then I'll remember that it actually happened to someone. And then I'm like, oh, well, maybe not awesome, but it was shot really well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just imagine you're that soldier and you feel trembling. You point your gun out and next thing you know, you have this big, giant machine coming at you that no matter how many bullets hits it, nothing is going to destroy it. So imagine the fear. You're in your boots firing this gun.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, how can we defeat this thing? What is this thing?
I know we're kind of jumping around, but that was my favorite scene in the movie because, like you, I remembered like as soon as the movie started with the boys being excited about going to Paris, I had all history class flashbacks of like, oh yeah, they were excited because they were going to go see other countries, and then when they get there, they realized they were in hell. Like, when the tanks came, I remembered history class being like, they never had that technology in a war before. Like, this was the first time these guys were seeing this, and the way that it's shot, like it's coming out of the fog like monsters. There's nothing they can do. That was my favorite sequence in the movie. I loved that scene. I love
the cinematography on that one also because first you see 1, and then you see 3, and then at the end you see 5. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the hell?
It's the way they emerge exactly.
Yeah. It's almost like a scary movie in the sense because then all the guys kind of just stop for a second and just stare at it like, what is that? Like
the whole trench like rattles and shakes.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the better scenes. So we're already talking about some good stuff, so we'll just keep talking about some of the other parts that we liked.
I have nothing bad to say about this movie. I love this movie. Like absolutely, like I would love this movie.
Yeah. It was really well done. Like I said, I know it was on Netflix, so everyone can go watch it. It's on Netflix, so you don't have to go to the theater. Which I think this one probably a better watch at home than it would be at the theater.
I wish I saw this in the theater.
Yeah, it would have been cool, but I like war movies. Yeah.
Now, is it just me, or did the general look like Wario?
With the hat on.
Right. Well, the general looked like Wario for a while. When he was sitting there eating, you're like, that guy looks familiar. I'm like, Nintendo. That's the guy. Wario. Dr. Wario.
Yeah. He definitely looked like a cartoon character.
Yeah, he did.
And he was evil like one too. Luke said it was was just as brutal and violent as Hacksaw Ridge. Hacksaw Ridge was another
Hacksaw
one.
Ridge,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hacksaw Ridge, it might be a little bit more violent than Hacksaw Ridge. I don't know. Hacksaw Ridge had a lot of like guns shooting through the bodies and stuff, but this one had like full on blown up bodies and
Yeah.
torsos hanging
Couple
in
times.
trees and people
Yeah.
burning to death. Like there was a lot of stuff in this movie that was tough to watch.
Yeah, for sure. A few times it was. I mean, well, hold on. Who gets said depending on how they execute, I can view war films as scary movies because how they real feel,
Mm-hmm.
how real they feel. Yes. Yeah, you know, like you said, you kind of like, oh my god, that looked amazing. Then you're like, oh my god, that probably happened. That probably happened.
Yeah, someone
there's a good
experienced that.
Yeah, yeah. And then yes, it is coming in theaters because I believe most of the time all Best Picture nominated films get another limited run in theaters.
Oh, okay.
So-
I doubt my theater's gonna take it, but if they do, I'm gonna go see that.
Yeah, I think definitely if you see it on a nice big like IMAX or something like that or Dolby Digital, that'd be really nice. Regal theaters, there you go.
Oh, there you go. I don't have Regal.
No,
Canada only has like Cineplex.
Cineplex, nice. Well, like hopefully AMC figures their stuff out. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, that sucks.
with AMC. Yeah. But yeah, so one of my favorite scenes was the part. So right after the tanks, and they're kind of like figuring out and they're running, and he falls into like the big pit with the water in it.
Yeah,
That
I know what you're
scene
talking
was that like because at first like I guess he sees somebody off to the side and he gets blown up, and I think he assumed he was the enemy, right? Because that one
it was the French soldier. Yeah, the French soldier.
Yeah.
Or France soldier. I don't know what the right
Yeah.
term is.
Yeah. But then like that was gruesome and super violent because it was with a knife and it's just like
Right.
stabbing and then he takes the mud and crams it in his face.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and
just
then
couldn't
he's
deal with
there.
the fact that he was
Yeah.
killing him.
Yeah.
And, like yelling, "Shut up, shut up!" Yeah, that was very impactful. I thought that was very effective.
Yeah, that was super because like the whole time, every time I watch war movies, I'm like, it's so crazy how like they can deprogram a person to like not think about stuff like that. But like something like this, it didn't seem like they really trained these people. They're like, here's a uniform and a gun. See you later. You know?
Yeah.
It didn't even seem like they knew where they were going. They all thought they were going to like see the Eiffel Tower or something. They're like Paris. And they get taken to the and the scene when they first get there and they have to put on the gas masks.
Yeah.
And the guy takes too long and he has to wear it for the rest of the walk.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that was fun.
No.
Yeah. It was gonna be so hard to breathe.
Yeah.
Hard to breathe.
I mean, the guy with the one with the pit, the guy had him dead to right. And he didn't kill him because he got exploded into the pit also.
Mhm.
I don't know if you saw that. So
Yeah.
that's how he ended up stabbing him like 17 times in the shoulder. Or it seemed like to me in the shoulder, in the chest.
I thought it was lower.
I think it was
thought
like
around here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It could have been. It could have been. Yeah.
Okay, because he opens up to kind of
you're
put
right.
pressure on it. So it's kind of it's like the lower chest.
Yeah, he
left
wanted
side.
like to kill him and like tell him to shut up because he didn't want to reveal that he was there hiding.
Mhm.
And I thought to myself, well, we got one or two things: one, finish him off, slit his throat, or two, flip him face down into the water.
Mm.
Do one of those two things, then pretend you're dead or do whatever.
Yeah.
Because after a while, he even got the stick with his helmet and it got shot off.
Mhm.
Right.
So, which is
there's a couple of moments. I don't know the director's name. I really should, but there's a couple of moments where they really take a moment to emphasize that these soldiers on the other side are just young boys like they are.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of moments, there's silent moments that I loved, where they just kind of look at each other and see the resemblance and see themselves in this person. And that's one of the things I thought during that scene when the guy was dying was he was just a young man and he was being faced with the reality of that. Like, I'm just killing this young man who's doing what I'm doing for my country.
right.
Yeah. And well, then he digs through his Derpy is agreeing that's one of his favorite scenes as well. But when he starts digging through his like wallet or whatever it's called and sees the picture of like I guess his wife and the child, and he just like starts crying and breaking down. I was like, that man, I can't even imagine. That's so intense. Of a feeling. You're like, I just took away this kid's father. And just having a conversation about his friends with kids and wives and women at home and stuff like that. So it's like you can easily relate, because like so it definitely was a good scene, very well shot. Rough though, rough
very
to watch.
Yeah.
But well done. What about you, Fredo? Any really good scene that stuck out for you?
That one stuck out to me. I think the one thing that really stuck out to me was like the beginning, how they had no idea, like just like Zach was mentioning, they had no idea what they were getting into until they got there. And they're like, oh, whoa, wait, what's going on? And then one of their buddies that exploded was trying to leave the trench, and he got blown up and guts went everywhere.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And he was like, okay, I want to go home. I want to go home now. I don't want to be here. So that's like a sense of reality. Like, hey, this is no longer a game. You're not a vacation. This is a life and death situation, which death is like waiting for you to mess up. And it is that sense right there, that in the tank scene, that sense right there, like, okay, you need to buckle in, you need to gather your stuff together and concentrate on making out of life. And what I've learned, what I've heard was when you go into the military, they don't teach you how to survive. They prepare you for death. Because when you escape it, you're looking back on it and like, yeah, look what I did. Because you go in and thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna come home in 2 years and 4 years. Okay, then that's when bad things will happen. So it's some kind of psychology. Now this is what I've learned. I never was served. I never have. And this is what I've heard. So don't take my word for it. But yeah, when I see that scene, I'm like, Jesus. Okay, no more fun and games. Now it's life. Now you no more 18-year-olds. Now you got to be like 28s.
Mm-hmm.
You got to grow up.
Did either of you guys cry at any point in the movie?
I'm sorry?
Did either of you guys cry at any point in the movie?
No, I felt really sad though.
Yeah. I don't think I cried.
No.
I welled up when he stepped on the glasses.
Yeah, like exactly what I said. I was eating like dinner, and it happened, and I like literally, I'm like, oh no, like I got so sad. I was like, his friend's glasses. It was
you just hear the crunch, like when he steps and you hear the crunch, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah, I
that was
that didn't get to me that part.
No, that one, because he picks him up and just like, oh, man,
I'm probably an insensitive bastard. I don't know.
Because at that point he lost all his friends, like that he went to the war with, right?
I couldn't tell if it was all of them.
No, I think he had like 1 or 2 left.
Because was Friends part of the friend group? I couldn't remember.
I don't remember.
The one that has the poster of the girl and he's like, I'm gonna come back for you, and then he doesn't.
Yeah. See, because I know like he wound up getting friends while he was there, you know. But I wasn't sure if like was that all of them that died that very first time in the trenches? Wow. But I gotta watch it again. This is something I definitely want to watch again because I want to pick up the names and faces and stuff like that, because it does cut. Well, one of the things I didn't like was it was a very hard cut to like people blowing up fancy dinners. It was like it was just a hard cut. It was just like
I loved that. I loved that.
I think they wanted to try to break it up. Because, that's basic. Because if you have 30, 40 minutes of fancy dinners, it gets a little boring. That's the point you want to fast forward it. It's like, come on, let's see some more gore.
Yeah. I mean, they talk about important stuff, but
I mean, I loved it because it was just that hard contrast of like what these soldiers are experiencing, like what they're in some ways forced to do. And then you just contrast that with the leaders and how wonderful their life is. They're staying in all these like fabulous like places. They have all this great food. It's all gourmet. These guys are like digging in the mud to find bread.
Yeah.
And I love the way that the film contrasted that, and it was so harsh too. And I felt like that, for me, anyways, that made it very effective.
You know, you mentioned the contrast. You know what really I found amusing was the one scene where the tanks were coming, and you see a whole family of rats leaving in one direction, and they all looked at him like, okay, maybe we should get the hell out of here. If they're leaving, we should leave too.
Yeah.
You know, that to me, it's I don't know. I want to say reality, like you follow animal instincts, and because they knew danger was coming, so follow them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I like that a lot.
No, that's a good detail. I kind of overlooked that. That's a good detail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, because like at the end of the day, like I even think they said it a few times. Like, are we animals? Are we like beasts or something like that? I think they said something along those lines.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it was like the movie starts with a fox and the family, and it looks like they're eating, you know, whatever dead creature, you know. So it was like it starts off with like just animals being animals, and then it cuts to like war, you know. So you know, the whole like the animalistic kind of thing, also like just the basic instinct to survive, you know. It, you know, I don't know, it was just like, I don't know, I felt like that was kind of like something they were trying to hit on different levels, you know, where like you know, because when the big like booms or explosions were going off, the like the mother fox looked up, you know, and then they kind of went into the big first fight scene, you know. But same thing with the rats, you know, like it's like, yeah, you know, like instincts, you know, and survival. I don't know, it was this very, you know, but then it cuts to, like you said, the fancy dinners where these guys are mostly talking about just like
making negotiations,
silly things, you know. Yeah. You know, except for the one guy was like, can we stop killing, you know, people, please? You know, everyone's like, whoa, you know, it's like, it's so insane, you know.
And there's a lot of scenes too where they like don't finish their food, or like they're like, it's not that great, and they just like stop eating. Like they're just so ungrateful for what they have, or they're just so spoiled. I loved all that. I love the way that the film did that.
Yeah, I like the fancy scenes because there was the one time where the guy grabs like it looked like a chicken nugget. I don't know what it was, but he bites it. He goes, taste this. He goes, was this made today? And he's like, oh, I don't think so. He's like, huh? And like he was disappointed.
Yeah.
While these guys are like eating mush and when he grabbed the bucket of water and it was not water.
That was gross.
Yeah, it was like dark water. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it was just filled with mud, and you know, and they didn't care. You know, well, yeah. So it was definitely, I like the contrast, but it was just like you're so emotionally invested in this moment, and then it's like, oh, now you're on your, you know, fancy dinners and stuff. Like I didn't hate those scenes. I like those scenes, but the transition was just so like hard, you know. And I get why they did it, but man, you know, it was definitely a big tone change at any given moment.
Yeah. I mean, I put myself in their shoes. I'm like, would I drink that water from that bucket? What is it, dirty water? But then again, I'm like, what would I? Yeah, because I would. I'm thirsty as hell. I'm dehydrated.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Yeah, and a different city, you want to steal a goose and make it for dinner. Yeah, they're stealing geese or a goose. Yeah, and making, and then they're talking like, oh, let's bring out the wine and caviar. Yeah, you know, then it cuts to the guys having caviar and wine.
Yeah,
so.
That's funny.
So
that's so.
Yeah. Any other like parts that really like stuck out for you, or good or bad? And I know Zach, you said you didn't really have too many dislikes.
Honestly, no, I didn't. This movie had me wrapped around its finger. Like I was just in it. I watched about an hour of it last night, and then I had to go to bed, so I finished it this morning. And the ending, like, can we talk about the ending a little bit? Yeah. So I'm sitting there eating my cereal, finishing the movie before work, and when Paul, the main character, who I thought the actor for Paul was fantastic.
Yeah,
I thought all the action across the board was fantastic. When he's staring at the French soldier, and then out of the darkness just gets stabbed through the heart. And then the announcement, ceasefire, it's 11 a.m. The war's over. Like he was this close to making it. I literally dropped my spoon and my mouth hung open, and my wife was like, "What? What happened? What happened?" And I had to tell her what was going on because
Like,
I was
they
just
killed Paul.
bored.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that whole scene because like there's that scuffle and they get tackled into that bunker, and they're both like looking at each other like, let's just chill for like a minute, because I think they were on the same page. Like they understood, like, okay, I'm not gonna do anything, you don't do anything. We got a couple seconds, hopefully, like this is, and then I just out of nowhere, it freaked out the French guy, because it happened. He's like, kind of just stared at him like, I'm sorry, kind of like I had that I'm sorry face, and then just walked away and left him there. I was like, and then anyway, false.
And then the second well up moment was when he uses his last ounce of energy, just like the will of it, to get up the stairs and just get a glimpse of the end of the war. Like just to see it. And then he's gone. I thought it was beautiful. Like hauntingly beautiful. I thought it was just fantastic. I just thought the whole movie was fantastic. I loved this movie. Like I really, really loved this movie.
So, but even right before that, when they all kind of come back to like the headquarters, and the Wario looking, German guy, he's so ingrained in being a soldier and all that craziness. Where he told his guys, he's like, "All right, we got an hour left. Let's go fight some more." And everyone's like, "What?" And then anybody who questioned it, he killed, which is insane. It's like, you killed your own soldiers because you want to fight some more for 15 more minutes. Like literally, it was 15 more minutes because he asked them, because when they get to the hill before they get to the battlefield, they're like, "How much time?" He's like, 15 minutes left.
Yeah,
like Paul had 15 minutes before he can go back home and just be done with it all. So but they were they all like anybody who didn't complain and didn't die there. They all just turned around. They're like, "Well, let's go die." It was just like they were just all moping there, and just I think they obviously took their time. They weren't walking fast, but that was an emotional scene. Just like them there, they're like the war's over. What are you talking about? Like, no. It's like that really horrible boss. It's like, no. You work until 5. It is 4:58. I got 2 hours. Like, yeah, that was really cruddy, man.
I had a boss like that once.
Yeah.
Did he kill you if you quit?
No, I would have killed her first. She was a real bitch.
Yeah, I think everyone is a boss like that. It's like, no, you're working to the last second.
Yes,
but this was definitely the worst of the worst. But yeah, the ending I thought was great. I mean, like Zach said, like it really wraps you around and really sucks you in like right off the bat, because it starts off with crazy action and it ends with a very sad, emotional, crazy action, so it's just nonstop. And then at the end where it says everything, where the whole Western Front was fought, and 3 million people died just to gain meters, so you're talking about like of land over the years, and then
17 million in total of World War One died. 17 million. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. But just out of the 17, 3 million for this one little section of land, and it was just like literally like just back and forth between like a few meters, which is crazy. So and you're talking about like American people like 10 feet, it's like 2-ish meters, a little bit more than 2 meters. So I can't imagine that, just that's insane. But cool. So we'll get into our kind of finishing up this one. So we usually kind of rate it with a now, later, never, but obviously it's an Oscar, so it kind of speaks for itself a little bit. So we're going to ask the question, should it be considered a Best Picture nominee for 2022? Zach, I'll let you go first.
I mean, I think absolutely. it's my like front runner. It's the one I want to win now. I haven't seen everything to be fair, but of the ones that I've seen, this is the one I want to win.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Fredo?
I agree. This is I believe like everything he just said, just whatever he did, ditto. You know, whatever he said, ditto. It's right now. This is like way up there. It's one movie hard to beat, and I'm pulling for this one a lot. I really am. I really am, because everything in this movie is almost perfect. You know, emotionally, it sucks you in, and probably you're there, and you guys teared up, or you know, and it's like, okay, because there were times like, oh shit, you know, whatever. It was, whew, yes. I can't wait. I want to go finish it. So.
Yeah, I know. We kind of ruined the ending.
Yeah,
You have like.
Oh yes.
Let's wrap it up. No,
Paul's okay. Don't worry about it.
No, that's why it's called Spoiler Kings. So that's
yeah. I mean, even with us telling the ending, like you watching it, I think it still is going to hit you.
Oh, I think so.
Because I already could see me watching it a second time, knowing what is going to happen next, and still kind of get emotional and caught up in that scene, for sure. But yeah, I'm there with both of you guys. Like this, 100% deserves to be on the best nominee pictures or best picture nominee list. I'm upset I haven't watched it sooner. You know, there's always like a few movies each year where I was like, I wish I could have watched it sooner, because I could have watched it a couple times by now. You know, but yeah, it's definitely deserves to be on the list. You know, it looked amazing. Some of the shots were great. Just, you know, the way they shot it, the visuals of it all, you know, because like there's the one part like he's just caked with mud, you know, and just, you know, bloody and stuff like that. So, you know, that's gotta suck just for an actor. So
yeah, it's is it nominated for cinematography? I hope so, because like I love shots that like swoop and reveal stuff, and I want to say it's right after the fox at the beginning, like it slowly starts to reveal the bodies, and then you just see how many bodies are there. Like I love shots like that, kind of like Gone with the Wind, when it pulls out and you see all the people on the ground. Yeah, I love those kind of shots.
Yeah, so it is up for cinematography.
Yeah,
you know, it's going against. Yeah,
I'm rooting for that too.
Yeah, it's going against Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths. I haven't seen that one. Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. I think I would say this one should win that category. Yeah,
only one I've seen is Elvis, so I can't really say too much about the other ones or anything for that matter. But I hope this one wins. Yeah. It's my it's the one I'm rooting for.
Yeah, I think. Let's see, what else was it up for? It might be about it. Yeah, I think there might be something else. International film feature, which obviously, you know, being German, you know, so it could win international feature film and best. But how are you nominated for best picture and only nominated for international feature film? Because none of the other international feature films are nominated, so it's like that should be an easy win, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Is the director nominated for best director or no?
I guess I gotta check it out. And then Derpy said it deserves to be a best picture for sure.
I agree.
My first viewing, I watched 30 minutes and stopped because of his buddy. Yeah.
No, it's tough.
Yeah.
Well, in the very beginning, it wasn't them, because remember they showed some kids, and then 18 months later, they showed the kids in this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. You're right.
Yeah,
because they give them the uniforms. Like that's insane. That was insane.
When he says, "Oh, this one has someone else's name on it," and they're like, "Oh, it was probably too small." Like I was like,
then he throws it on the ground with the other name tags.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Also, the sound. I thought some of the sound was really cool. That weird noise is really like a haunting kind of noise. It was just like it worked me up a little bit. Like I'm like, oh man, what's gonna happen?
Kind of like a warning, like a warning sound, right?
Yes. Yeah.
He gave me anxiety. Like, oh shit, run.
So it's also up for production design. It is up for sound. It is up for sound. It is up for visual effects as well.
Visual
Oh yeah, it
effects.
should be. If there was visual effects in there, I didn't really notice any. And
Oh,
those
when he
those
found
are-
his
Some.
when he found his buddy after he stepped on the glasses, how that guy's eye was bloodshot and like smashed to one side.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
That
wow.
was.
I didn't notice that. I
wow.
didn't catch that detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
Yeah, there's
face
a lot
was
of-
like somewhat smashed in, and his eye was like bloody, and then he had like
Wow.
blood coming out on the side of his head.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, see, it's also up for writing, adapted screenplay. Which makes sense. Let's see what
Yeah.
for directing. Does it have no lead actors, no supporting, obviously no actresses. There was like, was there any women in this movie?
There was those ones with like the wagon that the one guy ran after.
Who? Oh,
And
I don't think there was any other ones.
Frez. He ran after him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then he just joined them. Like that was it. Like we never saw him ever again. Like
No, he came back.
He came back with like was it a
the
scarf
handkerchiefs.
or
The handkerchiefs.
oh, the handkerchief.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
couldn't tell if it was
yeah.
underwear or not at first, and I
That
was
is the
like,
same thing.
everyone's
Yeah,
just
that's-
smelling it. Oh,
For directing, it is not up for directing.
wow,
So
that's
up
unfortunate.
for
I
a
thought he did
few.
a fantastic job. I don't know who he is. I'll
Yeah.
have to look up his name later, but
yeah, that was definitely a good one. But cool, man. I think that's about it. So this is definitely one I'm going to be rooting for in a lot of categories that it's up for when Oscar night comes, because it was well done. It was well done. Like I said, my only regret is not watching it sooner, because it was definitely an emotional ride. Yeah, which I think a lot of war stories are, but it always depends on how well you can connect the main character with other soldiers and stuff like that. And they did a really good job with
Yeah.
They did. They did
Like,
fantastic.
that. You felt
I was-
balls.
yeah, I was invested with all of them.
Yeah. So any last words, guys, before we move on?
Just please
No?
watch this movie.
Yeah.
Don't wait any longer, like me. Just watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely is a recommend watching this one for sure. But cool, that is it for this one. So if you're live, stick around. We're gonna talk about something else. If you're on replay, hit that sub button, hit that like button, so we know you like what we're doing. And also make sure you go give Zach a subscribe. So Zach, one more time, you want to tell them where they can find you at?
Zach Millen Talks Movies on YouTube and the Zach Millen Talks Movies podcast on wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks,
There
man.
you go. And I'll put the link is in the description of this video, so you can go check out Zach. But that is it for this one, for our Oscar review of 2023. But stick around if you're watching live. We're going to talk about another one. But we will see you guys in the next review. Later. All right. Anybody need to get some water or something?
I got one.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I forgot about that uniform thing, because that was so early in the film, and I'm like how great that was, and then that just became one thing that was great in the line of all these other great things.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah.
At first, when they were putting the bodies in the caskets or in the pits, and then they cut to the next scene, and you see these big bundles of something getting tossed. Immediately, I thought, man, look at those body limbs. I thought they were limbs, like legs,
In
arms.
the white bags.
Yeah.
Me too. I thought the
Yeah.
same thing.
Until they followed it to the laundromat, getting washed and sewn up and patched up to get recycled.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Even the sewing machines sound like a battlefield with it sounded like guns, like a bunch of guns going off, like da, 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 da. I'm like sound for sure was really well done in this one. I hope it would sound.
Oh, there was some women
amongst
there.
others.
There was some women sewing. There was
Oh
women
yeah,
in the movie there.
yeah.
That's
Oh
crazy.
man.
Imagine
What
that.
did we say?
The winner is women number 2 sewer.
F that German general. Yeah, he was an
Yeah.
a-hole for sure. He
Totally.
was.
Derpy. It's Wario, man. I'm telling you, it's Wario.
When I
totally
first saw
forgot to- Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I totally forgot to mention. I was kind of surprised when Daniel Brühl showed up.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, he's in this.
yeah.
Is
That was.
that
I got
Zemo?
yes. Yeah. Yeah, which makes sense. He's just he speaks Russian technically in that movie. So
I couldn't remember if he was German or not, but I was just like, oh, I recognize this actor.
It's the only one I recognize.
Yeah.
It took me a second. I'm like, is that him? I had to look it up really quick, and yeah, it was him. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, I think if he had a little bit more screen time, he might have been up for like a supporting role, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, but cool. And then it was my last words. All right, but we're gonna talk about Elvis next. So,
all right.
So yeah, let's get it going. I think that last one was about 30 minutes. We went over a little bit, but cool. All right.
Sorry,
that's all
I just
good.
gushed about it too much.
What's that?
I just gushed about it too much.
Oh, that's all right. That's how it always ends up.
Yeah.
Like me and Brian, we're always like, we're gonna keep it to an hour, and then 2.5 hours in, we're like, okay. So it always like, yeah, it always like somebody triggers one of us, and then we keep going. Oh, are you playing video games?
No, my bad.
All right, you ready then?
Yep.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
Not it here.
What was that? Honestly, I had cared for the last few years for the Oscars, but this movie deserves a big picture to me. It does. Yeah, the Oscars are weird because like you can have two great actors or two great things that should win, and since they might like tie, then like something that might be like third place might win it. Their voting process is so so weird, you know.
Or La La Land might win, and then they just decide to give it to Moonlight anyways.
Yeah. Well, that was like, that
was the last one I think I watched was the La La Land incident.
Oh wow,
that was crazy.
Yeah. They do that every year. Well, like with the father, that was Boseman's last nominee for Ma Rainey's, and they saved his category for the end, which they never do. They always do certain order of everything, and I'm like, why are they putting it at the end? You know what I mean? Because like usually the last category needs, like, they'll cut it really quick because they have to finish the show because it's always over. And that's exactly what they did. Everyone thought Boseman was going to win it, and they're like, and the winner is Anthony Hopkins. Boom, credits roll. You know, it's like it was so quick. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. That's exactly what happened.
But it was hyped up. Like you're like expecting something big.
Yeah, you were gonna get like a Boseman tribute or something. His wife was gonna go up there, like something was gonna happen, like he's gonna win the category. And then Anthony Hopkins, I thought probably deserved it, but just popularity and stuff like that, I thought they were gonna give it to Boseman. And yeah, they said that his name, and like the credits rolled in the next like 10 seconds. It was so quick.
Wow.
And it upset so many people. So many people were upset that year. They were like, yeah. So the Oscars always does some weird things like that, or somebody gets slapped. So,
yeah, I saw that. Obviously, I didn't watch the show, but I saw that.
Yeah. So, I think I was watching it last year, and then I text everyone like, "Oh my God, Will Smith just slapped Chris Rock," and then I think that's when like everyone's like, "What?" But yeah. And what Brian said, "Hey, what's up, Brian?" I started talking, and then we go down a rabbit hole, big time. Yeah.
Real quick, have you ever played Rock Paper Scissors Will Smith?
No.
I'll explain it later.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Will Smith wins every time. Oh man, that's funny. All right, let's knock this last one out. All right, welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is St. Kramer with the Oscar time, Mr. Alfredo, and we got Zach returning again with us. What is up, guys?
How you doing?
Doing good.
So appreciate you here, Zach. And then why don't you let everyone know where they can find you at? Yeah,
I'm Zach Milton Talks Movies. I'm on YouTube, and the Zach Milton Talks Movies podcast is on Apple, Spotify, wherever you can get your podcasts. Talking movies and having fun.
Awesome. Yep. And you go live at least once a week, right? Like
I do. Yeah, I go live every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah, so definitely check him out. He's there's a link in the description. You go follow Zach, give him a subscribe. Super fun time. I love when I can catch your live shows, going in chat and saying hi and stuff like that. So
Nice,
you have a
man.
great community over there as well. So shout out to all your community
they're
people.
fantastic.
Yeah,
They're fantastic.
Yeah, so
and we'd love to have you join us.
yes, there you go. So make sure you hit subscribe for Zach down there. But we are continuing our 2023 Oscar Best Picture nominations, and this episode we are talking about Elvis, the Baz Luhrmann's Elvis. Right off the bat, I am not an Elvis fan. Just never been. So I really didn't care to watch this movie, and I gotta say it was a lot of surprise on how well it was kind of done. Like, holy crap. Like, dang. But we'll talk about some of the good stuff, and then we'll get into some of the bad stuff a little bit. But right now, what are some of the good things you like, Zach?
Well, I mean, Austin Butler's performance. I've been hearing the hype about it. I've been hearing everyone talk about it. I've finally seen it for myself. And yeah, it's very good. I enjoyed it. I will say I liked this movie. I think I was a little underwhelmed by it just because of how hyped it was.
Yeah.
I liked Tom Hanks in it. I thought he was almost unrecognizable. I've been seeing online some people didn't like it. I thought he played the part well. I thought he was really good. He was one of the highlights, honestly, for me.
Yeah, sure. Oh, you Fredo?
From 1 to 10, I give it a 7, 8.
Okay.
Who was the guy who played Elvis? Austin Butler?
Yeah.
Okay. Phenomenal performance. He did amazing. He did awesome. Tom Hanks, little bit. It's just a Tom Hanks character. It's a Woody character with a German accent, I guess. And then it was hard for me to separate those two, because there was a time a little bit of Woody came out of it, or just a regular Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks was great. Don't get me wrong. I love the guy. He's awesome. But I really didn't like his performance in this movie. Overall, the Austin Butler was phenomenal. He did great. Yeah, I just don't. I like the movie. I did not like Tom Hanks. I wasn't too crazy about it at all. Austin Butler, I never heard of this guy before, and he did tremendously well.
Yeah. Austin Butler is kind of more of an up and coming. Like he's done other things. I believe he was. You
guys didn't watch Zoe 101?
Which one?
You guys didn't watch Zoe 101?
Oh yeah, no way.
No, you didn't watch that as a kid?
I did not.
Am I younger than you guys?
I think so.
I doubt it.
That's the only place I've really seen him from. Is he's been on a couple Nickelodeon shows, as like guest spots and stuff. So it's really cool to see him become this big actor now. But did anyone else at some points feel like they were watching Batman? Because Tom Hanks looked a lot like Penguin to me at times.
Yes, yeah. With the cane, with the weird circus cane. His I know it's a real person. Like the Colonel is a real person. That really screwed over Elvis. Like that, I know. But I liked his character. It was very over the top. It reminded me of Joey. What was his name? Or was it Joey Wiseau, the guy who made The Room?
Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau. There you go. Yes, it reminded me of that because he's like, oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm from America. What? No, you're not. Like, what are you talking about? And it was kind of like that kind of attitude, but also like just the at least Tommy like somehow has a bunch of money where he can kind of do whatever. Where this guy was like wants to get a bunch of money, but he knew how to be like a con man. You know what I mean? Like he would give it funny names, like I'm the snowman and this and that. But I was like, at the end of the day, you're a con man. So I liked his character. I really enjoyed it. It was hard because even with the prosthetics and stuff, it's just Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is so. He's bigger than himself at this point where like he's just so big. But I did like his portrayal of the Colonel, and I liked how he was the narrator of the story, you know, because a lot of times it's always like Elvis and Priscilla, or Elvis and this, like it's always like different thing, but it's really, this is a story of Elvis and the Colonel, which I thought was kind of an interesting take on his life, you know.
Well, it's told from the Colonel's perspective.
Yeah,
he's the narrator of it.
Yeah, you know how we say, because it made sense, because there's a one part in the film where it skips over a big chunk of Elvis's life, you know,
pretty much that
from going to the military all the way to like kind of coming back and be a Hollywood star. All that time, like it was like what, a 5-minute montage of and it would make sense because, you know, the Colonel was obviously part of the Hollywood stuff, but they just skipped like a big chunk of the middle of his life. I felt
that's something I was feeling too when watching this, and it's kind of weird to say because it is 2 hours and 40 minutes long, but I felt like obviously there's a lot of life to put into that movie, but I felt like they were like snapshots that was just like click, 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 and just like moved really, really quickly. Like, oh, all of a sudden he's in the military. Oh, he's back and he's got a performance in a hotel. What? It just happened so frequently back to back, and sometimes it was hard for me to kind of follow the flow of the narrative. I don't know if I was the only one who felt that or not.
No, I'm right there with you, because it felt like 2 different movies. It felt like 2 different. Yeah, you know, even that just shows like how great Austin Butler was as this, where you're like, you need to play young Elvis, and now you need to play like beat down, big different mindset Elvis. You know what I mean? You know, and I thought that was kind of like interesting, but it did feel like 2 different movies. You know?
Yeah, especially when he started I don't know, near the last part of the film, when he started just having the pill problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't really build up to that. They kind of montage through like, oh, he's been here 1 year, 2 years, 3 years at the hotel, and then his wife's just like, the pills are what you love, and I was like, huh? Oh, okay, now he's an addict. Okay,
right.
Missed that part.
Yeah. It definitely sped through a lot of the ending, which was interesting, you know, because even like the character, like you see him like a little bit more beat up and tired, and then the movie kind of ends, and then it shows him with more weight, you know, because obviously Elvis, you know, gained a lot of weight because, you know, depressed and all that stuff. So it was like he went from like old, you know, beat up Elvis to old, beat up and fat Elvis, you know, like like the night he died kind of thing, or the last performance.
It was kind of weird too, because like they had the real footage of the Elvis at the end, right? With he was like big, and I think Austin Butler was also in the prosthetics and stuff looking big before they transitioned into that. But before that scene, there's like this montage of like newscasters and press people talking about like his waist size and how big he is. And then we see him. He wasn't any bigger.
No,
I was confused.
He was sitting in the car.
He was the same size as he was before. And everyone's talking about like how much weight he gained. And I was like, really? Like, if you're saying that about him, I don't want you to see me.
Yeah. Because definitely like well, even that too, the weight gain, and then they're like, oh, the mumbling on stage. I was like, I kind of would want to have seen that, but I get like they didn't want to show that because I don't know if it would have been too disrespectful or what, but it was like, but if you're gonna tell a story about a person's life, then you need to tell the story of a person's life, you know, and that's part of it, of him being so drugged out that he's just mumbling and incoherent on stage, you know. So you
know, the movie was 2 hours and 40 minutes, and yes, I mean, if it was longer, Jesus Christ, man, was that one director from the DC Comics? The
Snyder Cut.
Snyder Cut. The Elvis version of the Snyder Cut. No, So I mean, this movie.
He says there's a 4-hour out there potentially being released.
Gosh,
that's funny. This movie reminds me of what's the one? A Knight's Tale. Has the medieval times with a modern music. This movie had the similar. It brought me back to that point where they had the old Elvis, but it had rappers. Who was singing in it? Something Cat, Darby, not Darby. Something Cat.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
No, I mean in this movie they had
like newer like rappers.
Oh,
yes,
in Elvis.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I had the newer rappers in this movie, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, does this try to transition like old with new?
Doja. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Chris.
The Doja Cat. Yeah, no, it was Luke.
Thank you, thank you,
Okay.
Luke.
Yeah.
But so I kind of, you really threw me back to A Knight's Tale, where you had Queen, "We Will Rock You," playing
Right.
Joust. You know, I'm like, okay, so is it old and new? Same thing with this, old and new. The cinematography looked like a fast forward animation, almost like swish here, swish there.
Yeah.
Or look here, look here, all different angles.
Yeah.
So it kind of like sped up the process. You always, like, you probably were a little high when the guy was making his editing. Like, oh, this would be cool, man.
If you ever watch a Baz Luhrmann movie, this one's very much his style.
Yeah, this is my first one that I've
Really?
watched.
Yeah.
Going back to your point, though, a little earlier, I did feel a sense of like protection around Elvis in this movie. I mean, I know his daughter, Lisa Marie, who recently passed away, unfortunately. I know that she was involved with the production and like with the movie. And I can't speak entirely to it because I don't know the Elvis story. This was my introduction to the Elvis story. But he was always the victim. There was always this sense of protection around him of like always have him victimized, always make sure that people know that he basically didn't do anything wrong. He was always the victim. So I kind of got that sense from what you were saying during watching the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hold on. So Derby said it's going to explain better and longer shots of the concerts and more end of his life story with the 4 hour the bass cut, right?
The longer shots of the concert, that wasn't the problem for me, to be honest.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was always Elvis was like the victim, I know there's a lot of other things about Elvis that people argue about. And I felt like this one was just like it wasn't him. I don't know how true that was of it all and stuff like that, but it was just like he was who he was and played the music he liked and stuff like that. And Baz was like this big bad guy, they literally like had the big bad guy and the victim of Elvis, that it sucks. I mean, because he was told a bunch of times by different people. They're like, hey, maybe you need to, cut ties with this guy. But he was just such a good con man. And Elvis was probably obviously not the most educated person. He grew up in like, Memphis back in the day. So the education system wasn't that great, especially the area he lived in. So.
I mean,
it was easy target.
Elvis, maybe Elvis had a nice heart. Like he couldn't say to an old man, hey, yes, you got me here, you got me started, now time to let you go. Maybe he couldn't do that. You just never know that aspect of maybe he had a kind heart.
So I took it more as a little bit of that, but then obviously, the Colonel took advantage of that, but he also knew what he really wanted. He's like, yeah. You don't really care about the money. You don't care about anything else. You care that people love you while you're on stage.
Like and I can give that to you.
Yep. So and I think he took advantage of that. He's like, I can get you what you want, and this is what you want. You want to be on stage and beloved.
So funny story about the Wiggle. How funny is it that apparently Forrest Gump taught Elvis Presley the Wiggle, which is from Tom Hanks, which played in this movie.
That is funny.
I didn't catch that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that either. Yeah. that's kind of funny.
So that damn Wiggle. Every time I see him, like, Forrest Gump. Okay,
Forrest Gump. Yeah, but yeah, man, it has some issues. it had some for me a lot of issues. Nothing that was big enough where like really pulled me out of the film. Once I stayed in the film and just like stayed in there, I was like, okay, I don't know how much of stuff is true. I really don't know much about Elvis, so I don't know like did he like grew up on Beale Street and listened to all those Beale Street musicians, so I don't know.
I mean, just imagine he, I don't want to say steal or stole. He maybe borrowed some lyrics from them, but he like made it into platinums and gold albums.
Yeah.
And a lot of the music that he learned from there, actually he like spun it out. And I had no, like you said, I don't know if he was actually, how much of it's true of him being like a church kind of guy.
I've heard that he started with gospel records. I've heard that before, so that made sense.
Okay.
And I know that he's been like, I don't know what the right word is, but like he's like taken black music. I know that that's been a big controversy for some people, and they played into that in the film too. So I get that. It's just like the story of him. I don't know if it's 100%. Like I can't speak to it. Right. I will say though that I did think this movie, and like I said, this is like my first exposure to Baz Luhrmann. It was a little loud, a little flashy.
Yeah,
it was there were times where I just kind of wanted it to calm down.
Yeah. So Baz Luhrmann did Romeo and Juliet, the Leonardo DiCaprio one from the 90s.
Okay, I have seen that.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Moulin Rouge. If you've seen that one,
I think I have that sitting right here. I haven't watched it yet.
Very flashy and stuff like that, and The Great Gatsby. So if you so you can really, once you see those, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, the very flashiness and the loudness of it, like
it'll make
stuff
sense.
Like that. Yeah. Yep.
But some of the transitions are really cool. I'll say that too.
Yes. Yeah. Some of them are really, really cool. I like that. But even the whole part that I thought was kind of interesting was there's like the political side, because he even asked me, do you want to be an entertainer or do you want to be political, or it was something along those lines, and I think at first he's like, I don't want to deal with politics, but then obviously, he kind of got into it, obviously for I don't know, they really don't give you a good reason why he kind of like, it was more selfish reasons than actual like I care about what's going on in the world. Like they hinted at it, he did the protest song obviously, but it wasn't, I don't know. For me, it was just like they blamed him. They're like, oh, he's the reason why like segregation and stuff like that. They kind of like put Elvis was kind of part of the poster child, like he's part of the problem and stuff.
Which was crazy to like watch that.
Yeah.
Like the fact that was an actual thing, like that. Like even the beginning when they're like, "Oh, we don't want to put them on the radio." No, he's white. Oh, he's white. And all of a sudden, everyone was interested. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't!" Like,
they put that right out there, like clear, like plain as day. Like
it was funny, but it was also sad that it was true.
Yeah, I know. Because they exaggerate it. They're like he's white, and then everyone says like he's white. And they're like,
it goes around the town.
Yeah, but you're like, oh, now that music matters because Elvis is doing it, not before, BB King and Big Mama was doing it, but yeah, I mean that's a whole nother thing. I think they lightly touched on that, but for the most part, it was really him, and it was Elvis and the Colonel, and I liked that aspect of it. It was like,
I did too,
rather than getting into some of the other stuff, but I wanted more of that. I guess I just don't know why they decided to skip over him becoming a big Hollywood star, because isn't that kind of a part?
Like,
he went from the military
a movie career that he had too.
Yeah, and he was like the biggest movie guy, and they went over that super quick, like the whole movie career. They're like, oh yeah, he was great and stuff like that, and then we did it faster and cheaper, and just kept pumping him out. So it was like, you did the whole like come back from the military, became a movie star, and then started dwindling as a movie star, and then that's when we pick up his story again. I was like,
yeah,
that's a big chunk.
It sounds weird, but I almost feel like they should have like picked and choose what they wanted to use. Like kept some like instead of using everything from his life, like focus on a specific period or periods and just kind of like I don't know, smooth it out more, I guess. It just felt really choppy to me. It just felt really like we jumped around so much.
If anything, if that was the case, I think we would have like Elvis Presley episode 1, Elvis Presley episode 2.
Just making an HBO
series.
Right, docuseries or whatever. But yeah,
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, actually, I would not be against it because this movie was pretty well. I enjoyed it. At first, I was like, "Oh man, come on, I gotta watch this." And then 20 minutes in, I'm like, "Oh, okay." 30 minutes in, I'm like, I was hooked. I have to admit, I was hooked. I'm like, okay, I have to continue watching this.
Yeah, I was never bored. I'll say that.
No, I wasn't either.
Confused, yes, but never bored.
Confused. Yeah, if you don't follow it, you will lose track. And I like how the fact that I've seen pictures of his mom, and I like how the fact that they like placed her so well, like her normal, not normal. They placed her so well. Looks like the actual her mom.
Looks like her.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
It looks almost exactly like her. And this isn't like there's one with Jesus Christ, I can't remember. It's some movie with Elvis Presley got kidnapped and what have you, and they had a picture of his mom. Like every Elvis movie I've seen, he loves his mom. And it's like he would do anything for her. And it's weird. It's just weird how the similarities of like all these little movies I've seen and with this one, how close it is. So I'm wondering how you think it said based on true events, which is based on true events versus based on a true story or actual facts. I don't know what's the difference of the three. So I don't know how much reality is this or fake it is or the truth. So that's the only question I really have doubts on the part.
Yeah.
I just hope the Elvis kidnapping chapter is added back into the 4-hour cut because where was that?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I don't know if that was probably like a movie. Well, yeah.
Oh, no, yeah. I can't remember what movie was that.
Yeah. Well, they're doing an Elvis cartoon where he's like a secret agent or something like that.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be on Netflix. It's like McConaughey is gonna voice Elvis.
That's
secret agent Elvis, something like that. But one thing I thought they did really well was at the beginning when they first show Elvis on stage and the women losing their minds.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
It was I thought that was so well done because it just like obviously that's true because we know like all the pictures of Elvis and all the women like losing their mind in the front, but just them going from like just sitting in their seats to like uncontrollable. It was really like kind of funny and kind of like and they focus on that one girl where she just you see it build up and stuff like that. I thought that was kind of like well done. That was good. And then he's talking about it the whole time, narrating like what's going on with her, and that was kind of like fun, for sure, definitely kind of fun, like seeing like just them losing their minds over.
It was like the Sam Raimi girl screaming shots. Like they would just like zoom in. And...
yeah. But oh man, but
I like the performances too. The musical performances that Austin Butler did, especially when he was performing in the hotel.
Yeah,
I liked those performances.
Yeah, he got into it. That was good.
Yeah,
that was good. You felt like you were there watching it. Like I know he said he spent about 2 years before even starting to film, just watching him, listening to him to get the voice down. He's still talking like Elvis, which is kind of weird.
I saw some interview he did where he said like he basically like ruptured his vocal cords or like did something to his voice because he's been doing it so often, so long. But I don't know how much validity that is to it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know how true that is.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
movie was called Heartbreak Hotel.
Oh.
Oh,
Is
okay.
that? Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was called Heartbreak Hotel.
What's it? Oh no, is that the one? Is that with Nicolas Cage?
Let's see. No.
No, I was thinking. I
David
know
Keith.
David.
David Keith's in it.
I don't think it's no one. No, I was thinking of a different one with. Well, it was a vague. Oh, it was like yeah. But yeah, I got to check that one out. With him getting kidnapped.
Yeah.
Sounds silly. Fun silly.
It's Johnny, a 17-year-old boy, succeeds in kidnapping Elvis Presley and thus convince him to meet her mother, who is a fan of his, and he still has to stand difficult times at that moment. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a
Next
movie
week
that
on
I
Spoiler
saw when I
Kings, Heartbreak
Yeah.
Hotel.
There you go.
It came out in '88.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. When did he die? I can't remember. What year did it say he died in? At the
Who,
end of the
Elvis?
film?
Yeah.
It was earlier than I thought it was.
I think he was 42.
No, I thought it was 45.
No, he was 42.
I think it's
19
42.
77.
1977. Yeah.
Right, 1970s. Oh, I hope we got to see Star Wars at least before you went. What was the month?
August.
August.
16th.
So
Oh, he made it. Awesome. He probably saw
yeah.
it.
You probably
Yeah.
saw the first one.
I mean, yeah, he was stuck in his hotel room. What else was he gonna do? So,
Yeah.
There's Brian. Fredo Scrolls.
yeah, there you go.
Jesus,
That's a joke we make on our sports channel with Fredo. He
They're making
brings
fun
up
of
players.
They make fun of my age, man. That's all.
Well, we all talk about players from like now, and then Fredo brings up a player from the 70s. Like
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gale Sayers. I was like, what? So,
Oh, jeez.
but yeah, definitely a good movie. Definitely a lot better than I expected. And I really wasn't expecting anything because it was an Elvis movie. I like I said, I'm really not a big fan, so I really wasn't whatever. But I think Austin Butler crushed it. He was great. It was like watching Elvis at some point. So it was like, wow,
Yeah.
it was really well done. If he does win, I just want to watch the red carpet to see if he's still talking, because he won the Golden Globe, I believe, and he got up there and he still had the Elvis accent, which
Really deep
is
voice,
weird. Yeah, so yeah, it was kind of funny. But so we'll give this one a quick rating. A little bit different since it's an Oscar movie. We're not going to do a now, later, never like we normally do. We're actually just going to ask the simple question of, does this deserve to be a Best Picture nominated film? Zach, what do you think?
I could take it or leave it.
Yeah.
If it wasn't in there, I would not be upset. It's in there. Okay. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah. Right.
I'm gonna say leave it as also. Just leave it in there. It's I don't want to say eye opener, but it makes you wonder, makes you think how corrupted people are. Elvis fans probably love this movie. Yeah. I'm not an Elvis fan, but after watching the movie, I'm like, okay, it's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah.
A lot of, if he wins it, I'll probably wear a jumpsuit just for the show one time.
get an Elvis jumpsuit.
I'll buy like a jumpsuit and bedazzle it myself.
Nice.
Put spoiler
the wig,
get
the shades.
Yeah, you get the big wig with the shades. Nice.
Yeah,
I'll grow out your sideburns.
I'll probably pass on all that. I'll probably wear the glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm kind of there too. I can take it or leave it. Like if it's on here, I'm like, okay, but like I don't know. I think there might be some better movies. I know why it's nominated. Austin Butler did a great job as Elvis, and you do not upset the Elvis fandom.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know. You do not upset the fandom because they will riot. And also I think the director Baz Luhrmann is definitely, I don't know if I'm saying his name right. But he's definitely like a big enough director to to put up on stage and say like, oh, look at his fancy movie. And Austin Butler did a very good job as Elvis. I think those are really why. The story itself was okay. You know, I don't think it didn't really like change too much of like how I see Elvis or anything like that. But the performances were fun, you know, and that's what I expect from Elvis. You know, it's like it should. Yeah, I want to see like a crazy cool performance, especially in the Vegas years, you know. So but you know, it was somewhat emotional, but it didn't really like I never was like crying or upset.
Right.
But like Derpy said, he went to go see it in theaters, and there were many fans of Elvis crying. He was bawling their eyes out at the end, leaving and eyes out at the end, leaving the theater. I teared up a little because of Elvis's choices in life.
Wow.
It's not even his choices. I think what he's forced to do almost.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I said, he's always victimized. I have found.
Yeah. You know, I mean, once you get that big, you know, you get people like that. Like Muhammad Ali is the same reason why he boxed for a lot longer than he should have, because so many people relied on him and kind of forced him to do it. Same thing with Elvis. You know, like really, it was only one man kind of conned him into keep performing. You know, at least in a way he didn't want to perform. You know, like he kind of like was that Homer kind of thing. Like when Homer goes to hell and he's like, "You like donuts? I'm gonna give you all the donuts you can have." You know, like obviously he liked it, but that's what they kind of did with Elvis. Like, you know, where the Colonel was like, "You like performing? Well, I'm gonna make you perform twice a day, every day for 5 years."
And he like completely manipulated him to like,
yeah.
Oh, you don't want to go overseas. Bad security. Yeah. Bad security.
Yeah.
You want to stay at the hotel for 5 years.
Yeah. I thought that was, also, that was a weird part where he gets so upset about security and throws the cane and stuff. I was like, what? Like, yeah, I just didn't get that. You know, it was like, he had to like hype it up. He's like, no one cares about him as much as I do.
Well, the reason why he did that is because he didn't want any iteration on like, okay, we got the green light to travel. That's the only reason he needed to make a big fuss. Like, how's it up? You know how security is. And he even showed it a little bit later. He's like, well, why can't we security? You know how he feels about security. You know, whatever. So I see why he was doing that. He made a huge fuss just for them to stay in US. Because he knows once he goes out there, he's deported forever. He's staying out there forever.
Well, the Colonel. The Colonel couldn't follow. The Colonel would have to stay in the United States, you know, and then, you know, so you can't cut the tie. But so that's our thoughts. So Elvis is nominated for Best Leading Actor with Austin Butler, obviously. What else is he? What is it nominated for? It's got a few, I believe, not too many. Cinematography. Stuff for that. Costume design, which
I can see costume.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's also like it's Elvis. It's like I can go to the Halloween store and pick up an Elvis costume. You know, so it's like
but they probably, you know, like the end part of the scene, they replicated everything because you have them heavy Elvis singing behind the piano with the actor playing, so the jumpsuits look identical. So they try to make it real. Even the guy holding the microphone looked identical. So of course the costume, it's going to be really, you don't want him wearing a white jumpsuit with blue limestones versus white jumpsuit with gold limestones. You know, so I think the costume, it's you can pick up an Elvis costume in the Halloween store, but I think costumes are great. Yeah,
they definitely look good. They made it look like the actual stuff he wore.
Yeah, down to the AC/DC jumpsuit he had in the back of the limo towards the end of the movie.
It's also up for film editing, which is interesting because we were talking about some of the decisions they decided to go with the editing. So,
also, Don't Look Makeup Up got a nomination too that one year, and I thought their editing, I didn't like it at all. So what do I know?
Well, also, that Queen one got
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Great, but it was edited so weird and had some weird edits and stuff, and I think it won for best editing or something like that, which is insane. Yeah. Let's see. Elvis is also up for makeup and hairstyling, which, again,
his hair looks fantastic.
Yeah. Elvis has to look like on point, and they really did. Even early Elvis with some of the makeup, and then later Elvis with the big crazy hair and stuff. So, and that is, and then best picture and production design. I can see that again. Yeah, so it's got a few. Sound. What's the sound like? In there now, and that's it.
Wow.
So it's got a few. I lost count, but not too bad. I can see it winning a couple. I can see Austin definitely winning. He's going against Colin Farrell, Brandon Fraser, Paul Mescal, and Bill Nighy.
Brandon Fraser, really?
I'm rooting for Brendan Fraser.
I'm rooting for Brandon Fraser too.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah, the whale was
that poor guy got blacklisted, man. It sucks.
Yeah.
But also his performance in The Whale, like with Elvis, Austin Butler was very good. Obviously, he was great, but he had a lot of things surrounded him. Like he had other, I felt like he had a lot, like with the editing, with the style, with the other actors, with The Whale. There was other actors, but Brendan Fraser carried that on his back. And if you really think about it, with the suits and the prosthetics that he's in, it's his face. He does everything with his face, and the emotion and stuff that he brought to that was I'm rooting for him to win. I think he was excellent in that film. Yeah,
same. I definitely agree. Also Elvis is like, you're able to go back and watch years and decades of Elvis stuff. Like Brendan Fraser is like here's this character, figure it out. And he obviously did a good job.
You're in every scene.
Yeah.
So Butler had someone to learn off of, something to learn.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I wouldn't be upset if he won. I thought he was very good in this movie.
He was really good.
Yeah. I think it would be either, if it's not Brendan Fraser, it's going to be Austin Butler. That's what I think. But definitely, I think the Oscars, if they're smart, they know who to win. It's like, and right now Brendan Fraser is having his renaissance, and everybody loves him. So don't mess that up. Don't mess that up, Academy. But we'll see, because they always tend to mess things up. But cool. That is it for this episode of our Oscar review nominated movies. Again, thank you, Zach. We appreciate you coming out, hanging out with us, man. Appreciate it. And man, where can people find you at?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I had a blast. This was so much fun. I'm at Zach Millen Talks Movies on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I'm on TikTok. I'm trying that out, dipping my toe in the pool. And I got Zach Millen Talks Movies podcast. Anywhere you can find podcasts. I do a live show every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, going through movie news and just having fun chatting with you all. And then I put that in the podcast. So you can find all of that wherever you can get podcasts. And I'm on YouTube.
Yeah. Cool. So I'll make sure the link is in the description. Go check him out. Go get him to subscribe. He's super great. All his community is super great. So go check out his channel, and make sure you check out our channel too. If you're the first time checking us out, hit that subscribe button. We're doing a bunch of stuff. We're also doing our Oscar picks. So the past couple of years, we decided to make a little contest, and whoever picks the most winners, we're gonna give like a little gift card or something like that. So I'll put the link to this here as well. So you just go in the Google Drive, or not Google, but Google form, and you just click who you think is gonna win. If we get at least 10 people, then we'll do a giveaway, or the winner wins a gift card. But make sure you check that out. It's super fun. Kind of gives you something to look at while you're watching the Oscars. You're like, hey, I picked them to win. So it'll be kind of fun. So check that out as well. I'll put that link in the description as well. But that is it for this episode of the Spoiler Kings. Thank you guys, and we will see you guys in the next review. Later.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Cool. But man. Appreciate it, Zach. Man, that's super fun. I love talking about movies, and I love talking about talking with other people about like other movies and stuff like that.
Me too. It's my favorite part. It's funny. Watching the movie is good, but talking about it is my favorite part.
Yeah, because you can get like completely different like takes. You know, like Fredo, like you said, you didn't really care for Tom Hanks, and I thought he was pretty good. You know,
yeah, I enjoyed him.
Yeah, like I don't know, because maybe it's the kid in me. I hear Woody with an accent. That's all I hear. That's
Woody
all
with a
I
European
hear.
accent.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, I love Tom Hanks. He's a hell of a he's a great Sully. He plays Sully very well. You know, I like his acting. I really do. But in this movie, I think he stretched it. I see Tom Hanks and I'm like, oh, that's Tom Hanks. Then he plays him like, that's Tom Hanks.
You're definitely not alone. I've seen a lot of the same stuff on. I was surprised when I saw it online after watching the movie. I had a completely different experience with it, but that's what's so cool about movies, right? We watched the same thing and had totally different opinions and perspectives coming out of it. I love that.
Right. Or you catch different things, like Brian and me. Whenever we do like the Bad Batch we reviewed yesterday as well, and he brought something up and that I completely missed. He's like, oh yeah, that happened and it connected to that. I was like, oh my god, like mind blown. You know, I was like, yeah, that makes so it's super cool. So it's always cool, you know, talking to other people about stuff and sometimes just like I'm stuck in a movie and I'm not sure how I feel about it. Mm-hmm. And like me and my girlfriend will talk a lot about it, you know, and stuff like that. And I kind of like, I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, and you kind of like. Also, you can change. There's times like I start talking about a movie, and I was like, "Wait, why do I not like this movie?" Because everything I'm saying is like good.
Been there, yeah. We've all been
there. Yeah. I mean, like there was a time. I think what movie was it? It was a movie. It was WandaVision. We were discussing about WandaVision, and I explained to him, yeah, people think it's WandaVision, it's Wanda and Vision, but I took it as it's Wanda's vision, like how she sees things. How she perceives her life. And as soon as I said that, Kramer's like, huh, shit, I never thought of that. I opened up a whole new brain. Of
it's a clever title. It's a very clever title.
Very clever.
Yeah. Well, what's the next one they're doing? It's Vision Quest. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. Which I'm like, okay.
Yeah, which hasn't been officially announced yet. But
not yet.
We'll have to wait and see if that comes to be true.
And then I saw this, but we were already talking about Elvis, and Derpy's like, keep that game out of your mouth with the rock paper scissors Will Smith. I had to catch myself because I almost like laughing. Even Brian was like, "That's hilarious. That is super funny." That's because I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh, because Will Smith."
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So real quick, so I know you really don't watch the Oscars like you said, but usually the winners of like the bigger categories like Best Actor last year gives away the Best Actress of the current year. I think that's or is it whatever. I know the Best Actors and Supporting Actors come back and then they announce the next winners.
No, I've never noticed that. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't watch it I've never watched it like year after year after year, so I've never picked up on that.
Yeah, unless there's like an issue, they might skip it, like if somebody dies or health reasons and stuff like that. But yeah, so I doubt they're gonna bring back Will Smith. But
he's banned for 10 years. He's not allowed.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That was his like punishment.
Yeah. 10 years is a long time.
Yeah, he's gonna be like late 60s, I think. I think he's in his 50s, right? He's gonna be like late 60s and he can go back.
Wow. Yeah. Dang. Yeah. Is it? And I gotta look if it's just the Oscars or if it's also like what's the one for the TV?
The Emmys or
Emmys.
Yeah.
Emmys.
I when I was I haven't read it. I only read the article. I think it was Variety put it out. I only read it when it first came out like months ago. My understanding was it was just the Oscars. He wasn't allowed to attend, but he could still be like nominated and stuff.
Yeah.
That was my understanding of how I read it. But yeah, he's definitely not allowed to attend for 10 years.
Yeah. That's kind of hefty.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, it might get reduced. Also, like, so real quick. So this was the real life Colonel. Like that's how he actually looked.
Oh,
You
look
know,
at
and then
him.
that's Tom Hanks.
That's not bad.
So, yeah, no, they did a pretty good job.
His nose is a little. They kind of,
He's got like a
you
little
know,
bulge nose.
they kind of did him dirty on the nose a little bit. It wasn't that pointy.
Right? What did he- Oh, there you go. Look at that old school one. Elvis in the Colonel.
Oh yeah! Wow, crazy.
Yeah.
So remember
A lot of people are not liking it.
the Golden Globes? The presenter for what was it? Animation was Selma Hayek and another guy from Puss in Boots.
Antonio Banderas?
No, not him. Harvey something. Can't remember the guy's name.
I can't. It's not ringing a bell.
Yeah.
That guy Harvey. When I went to Paris, I met him.
What?
And he,
Oh,
because he was my future brother-in-law's.
Oh yeah, Harvey. He was the dog.
The dog in Puss in
Harvey
Boots.
Gullen.
Yes.
Gillen.
That
Yeah.
guy. That guy is so freaking cool, down to earth, man.
oh wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mentioned you mentioned the Golden Globes, and I forgot to bring this up last week, and I just wanted to say it. I met him. He is super friendly, super nice man, super nice.
Mhm.
Like you hear his voice, it's exact same thing, just a little bit more deeper accent. That's all he added on to it.
Yeah. He I don't know if you guys watched the Harley Quinn show, which I got to go watch. They released the Valentine special.
Oh,
it's
cool.
it's definitely super raunchy, very adult. But they wind up bringing in Nightwing with Dick Grayson, and he voiced that character, and I thought it was a great voice casting for it.
He voiced
so
it. Harvey.
he voiced it. Oh yeah,
Oh wow, I had no
Oh, that's
idea.
cool.
yeah,
Yeah, because
that's why.
my brother-in-law, he's a producer or writer in California, and one of the Star Trek Quest animation shows.
Oh, Below
So-
Decks.
Yeah, that one.
That one's good. It's a good,
So
it's a good show.
he like helps produce it or helps writes it or helps something with it. So there's connections like all
Nice.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool.
That's
And
pretty
at first
cool.
I'm like, yeah. And his wife now like does something with Netflix. I'm like, holy cow. So can't imagine how their kids are gonna come up. All Hollywood and fancied out and stuff.
Yeah. Well, a lot of Hollywood people get there because they know somebody or they're a kid.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, he's one of them. So shit.
Yeah.
As well.
I guess the Harvey guy's supposed to be in the new Blue Beetle show. He's also in What We Do in the Shadows. If you've ever watched What We Do in the Shadows, the show,
I've
which
only seen
is
the movie.
oh the movie's amazing. I love the movie, and I still am mad at my mom because I got that movie because my sister said to get it, and I'm like okay, and then she wound up watching it because she's like, oh, I'll check it out. It's a vampire movie. I like vampires. I'm like okay. She's like, she came back and she goes, that is the stupidest thing I ever seen. I'm like, really? I was like, oh, that sucks. For like 2 years, I never watched it. And then finally, I think I had started dating my girlfriend when we first started dating. And she's like, oh, I heard this is really funny. Let's watch it. I'm like, really? My mom said it sucked. That is one of my favorite movies. Like, it's so funny. It's so silly. It's a Taika thing. So if you definitely like Taika, well, minus Love and Thunder, I think people hate him because of that. Taika's done a lot of great stuff, and
Yeah,
he's done What We Did in the Shadows.
that's
and
like
that
his
is
earliest stuff,
great.
right? Is what you do
Yeah.
in the shadows? It's like
super
when he was
early.
still making movies in Australia. Oh no, New Zealand.
Oh,
Is
New
it
Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and Hunt for the Wilder People.
Yeah.
Those are both.
Another
Those are some of
great
my
one.
favorite Taika films.
Yeah, that's why people are like, oh, I never want to see him on do anything ever again. I'm like, he's done great things. He's like Our Flag Means Death is it's out. Season 2 is coming out soon. I thought that was amazing. He plays Blackbeard, and it's something very, very different. It's really a well done, funny show. But yeah, what we
I
do
gotta
is
catch up on these shows.
yeah, what we do in the shadows. I think he's produced the TV show or something like that. But the Harvey guy is in it.
Harvey Guillen.
Harvey, yeah.
Yeah. His
Yeah,
name is
definitely.
Javier. Yeah, that guy. He's very funny. He's very cool. Very, very nice man. Very nice.
That's awesome.
I'm really blessed to meet him. He's really nice man.
That's cool, man. You go to Paris, get engaged, like meet celebrities.
Wow, that's awesome.
Living the life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I got one life, man. Shit.
Yeah.
I lived out Indiana and Texas and Illinois. So okay, what's next?
Rome.
I've been there. Check.
Yeah, I know. That's how you did the whole Euro trip. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
Next,
I don't know how you not going to Rome and not like do the whole gladiator. Are you not entertained thing?
Oh,
like
God, you know how bad that was coming out. Like you wanted to. But honestly, when I had the tour there, I even asked the lady, I'm like, you mean to tell me, like where we're standing at, like you mean a king will come out to this floor right here and talk loud enough and you could hear everywhere in the whole Coliseum? It's like, yes, it was built where it echoes. If everybody's quiet, because everybody has to be quiet. If the king is out there talking, everybody needs to pay attention. So everybody's quiet. So when a king talks, it echoes everywhere. It echoes. So from the person right next to him to the last person on top, they hear every single word the king or wherever presenter is out there saying. I'm like, that is amazing. I had one. That's my only question I had. My only question.
That's the only one.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm like, okay, I could see this, I could see that, I could see how if the winners leave this gate, losers leave that gate, and what have you. And it was amazing how the thumbs up, thumbs down, show mercy, no mercy means basically he loses or he wins, not dies. Because if that's the case, they're going to run out of slaves. They're going to run out of servants. They're going to run out of people.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It's crazy amazing. It was like the best trip. I want to go again, but this time I want to go to Rome. I want to head out there. I just hate that 8-hour, 10-hour flight. I hate that.
Nice long flight over the Atlantic.
My God, when I got off that plane, my feet were so fat. I'm like, Jesus.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah.
You like stood up and everything cracks.
Oh my God. Yeah. I got up, went to the washroom just to walk.
Yeah.
Just to walk.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It was a fun one. But cool, man. Yeah. Thanks, Zach. I don't know if
Thank
you
very
gotta get
much,
going
Zach.
or anything, but well, yeah, man. Appreciate it. If you want to come back on again and just kind of like hang out, always welcome. Zach Attacks is constantly, joining us for random shows.
Oh, he's great. Yeah.
We're probably gonna record some Black Excellence stuff with him this weekend. And then we're doing next Friday. He's on the show with us doing some Oscar movies as well.
Nice.
That's gonna be super fun. But yeah, Zach Attacks. I think we got him hooked into live shows because he's been doing some live shows now, which is awesome. So we talk to him all the time. So yeah, Zach Attacks is gonna join us. So like, same. Yeah, I'll let you know. So anytime you guys want to join, more than welcome, man.
Yeah, man. It'd
Thank
be
you very
awesome.
much.
Just coming on.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have a third person opinion besides Brian. I don't know if Brian's still on tonight.
Me and Brian tend to echo chamber a lot, so we need somebody who comes in and is like, no, you guys are stupid. You know what you're talking about.
Well, I hope I didn't come across like that.
No.
After a while, I think Zach Attacks was very like, well, I think different, and now he's just flat out. He goes, no, you're wrong, because he has very different opinions than us, which is why I think like him joining us is always fun. But yeah, man, you're anytime we're live, if you want to just join in. We usually do Mondays, we do movies, and then Thursdays we do some TV shows, some of the bigger ones and stuff. I think we did the 90s show because I know I was in your chat when you did. We were talking about it, and I think the next day we were planning on doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it got season 2. Did you see that? Season 2.
I did see that. I did see that, and I'll check it out. Did you? I
Yeah.
can't. Were you the one in the chat that like loved it? I can't remember.
I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Okay,
It
there was someone
fun
in the chat
enough.
that said that they loved it because I was a little bit like on it.
Yeah. But it was fun. You know, I hope they fix some of the issues in season 2. But
Like the Lost World being in the back of the rental shop when it's 1995.
yeah, I didn't even catch that. I gotta go put, like...
I watched a video on. I can't take credit for that. I watched a video on YouTube that was like all the mistakes in that 90s show. And it was actually kind of entertaining.
Yeah, I'm sure. It just didn't feel like 90s to me. Like it had some moments, you know, when she turns on the computer and you hear the dial-up noise. Like, oh man, that brought me back. I was like, oh, like no one get on the phone. Like everyone screamed.
Yeah, man.
Hang up the phone. Kick me off the internet.
The 90s was what, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Now I feel even older.
Yep.
Jesus.
Well, they made a show about it now. So, but yeah, Zach, anytime, you're always welcome. Come in if you want to talk about something. You want to just join us, hang out. You're always welcome to join us, man.
For sure. Thank you so much. I had a great time here. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know anything about football, we also got the morning spike.
I'm not the guy.
Okay.
I'm not the guy for that.
I was say you're Canadian. It's it's kind of big in Canada, but
yeah, I'm not.
Really.
I'm not a sports guy. Like I'm kind of weird. I don't even like hockey, which is like
oh man,
hard to find in Canada. But
that's Canadian crime. Yeah.
No, I feel you. I'm Hispanic and I don't like soccer, so I get you.
Yeah.
I know how to put up some drywall though. I know that.
the other,
yes.
I actually have to be somewhere in a few minutes, so
okay.
I'm gonna have to head out, guys. But thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun, and we'll definitely talk again soon.
Yeah, man.
Yep. All right. Yeah, appreciate it.
See you later, man.
Later. And then we'll probably head out too.
Okay.
We're still live. I don't know if no one really is hanging out in chat, but it's all good. But that's cool, man. That is cool. Fun times. Like I said, check out Zach Attacks. He just took off. Check him out. He's super fun. Great community he's got over there. Whenever I can catch him live on Wednesdays, try to catch him live. So, but cool, man. Ready to get out of here? I'm ready to go to bed. I am tired.
Yeah. So, well,
4 hours of sleep a night is not enough sleep.
Yeah, be careful. Don't get sick. That's how I got sick.
I'm more worried about like falling asleep at random times, man. I'm like at work and I was like wake up. So yeah, like today, I think I was typing an email and then I was kind of like trying to think about something and I got stuck at one point and I just kind of like started like sat there like, and then you like wake up, you're like, what?
This happened to me too, man.
Yeah. But cool. Let's get out of here. Monday. I'm not sure we're gonna talk about Monday. We might talk about the Harley Quinn show on Monday. Because it's a special, it's the Valentine's special. We might talk about that. We'll probably definitely gonna talk about Last of Us again. There's really I doubt any of us are gonna see the Magic Mike movie. So we're not talking about that on Monday. Yeah.
If you were a stripper, what would be your strip movie?
I don't know. I never thought about it.
No. I went to Dark Horse in Europe, and that's like some strip thing, whatever, some art.
Yeah.
Anyway, first thing that popped in my head was chorizo. Like my strip name would be chorizo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whenever I think of like stuff like that, I always think of Bob's Burgers because there's an episode where he becomes like a taxi driver to get extra money, so he can pay for one of his daughter's like big extravagant birthday, and he winds up basically becoming like a pimp, but a pimp for like trans women, and my favorite one is Marshmallow.
Marshmallow.
And yeah, Marshmallow is super awesome. She's a great character. But this is Marshmallow. You know, she always wears that. One it was a little off here. One year my mom bought her dog this like booties, to wear on her, so she doesn't get the salt in her paws.
Right.
And the booties kept falling off. So she bought her suspenders. And she put the suspenders, and she goes, oh, look, they kind of work. My first thing was like, oh my God, she looks like Marshmallow. Like with the thin white straps. And I'll find a picture. I'll send it to you. And I sent it to my sister. I'm like, why does our mom's dog looks like Marshmallow? But definitely Marshmallow. There's a strip club, a male strip club in the show called Pickles. Just called Pickles. So,
Jesus Christ.
Bob's Burgers has some like really good like stripper stuff like that, like kind of sexual but not really, kind of funny stuff.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That was good. That was good. That was a good laugh, man. I needed that. To end my week.
But cool, man. Appreciate you coming in. Next week, we got Zach Attacks with us. I think we are going to do Everything Everywhere, which is my favorite movie. I love that freaking movie. I don't know. Have you seen it yet?
No. All the movies on the list, minus Top Gun, I've seen. I think Top Gun's on the list. I have not seen all the movies minus Top Gun. Top Gun is, okay. Yeah, Top Gun is the only one I've seen on the list.
So, the only one I haven't seen that we gotta watch is Banshees of Inisherin. But I've seen The Fabelmans, Avatar, obviously. Top Gun I've seen. Triangle of Sadness I wanted to see ever since I saw the trailer and finally got to watch it. That is trippy. But Everything Everywhere is definitely, we're gonna next week's movies are gonna be like trippy movies, just like crazy out there kind of like stuff. So, and we're gonna have Zach Attacks with us, so that's gonna be super fun. Everything. So it's Everything Everywhere Always at Once. That's the title of the movie.
Okay.
So I'm not the EEAO. EEAO. I love that movie, man. I love that movie. It does multiverse so well. It does multiverse so well.
Okay, cool.
Love it. And then the following week, we're gonna have Perp Minded with us for the first time. Super excited about that, and we're gonna talk about Avatar and Top Gun. So I'm talking about the big action, visually good looking movies with Perp, and then it's gonna be fun. And then we got Fabelmans and Banshees of Inisherin on March 3rd. We don't have a guest yet, so we might find somebody, or we just might might bring in the full spoiler kings and awesome. Bring in Brian and Brandon. Maybe we'll just do something like that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And then the 10th, we're just gonna talk about some of the categories, all the other categories, our picks and stuff like that. And then the 12th, March 12th, is the Oscars. So.
Yeah, I'll talk to my future brother-in-law.
Dude,
see if you can jump on.
That'd be cool to get like a person like actually in Hollywood to come in and talk and stuff. Because right now we're just fans,
Yeah, I want to see if we could do that because I know he's really busy. So that's the thing. You know,
obviously.
With maybe even his wife, because I know she had something with Netflix.
Yeah.
Or she did something with Netflix. With the LBGQ movie on Netflix, something with I don't know what the name of it. I forgot the title. But anyway,
sure. But
I'll see what I can pull.
Yeah, we can always plan something out, and always record it on an off day or something like that.
Yeah,
so doesn't necessarily need to be live.
Yeah,
but cool, man.
All right, man.
Let's get out of here.
Yes, let's get out of here. I'll see you Sunday.
Yes, Sunday Super Bowl talk before the Super Bowl, so that's gonna be fun.
That is. I'm only gonna be able to go on like 45 minutes or so because I got.
That's fine. I don't think we're gonna have a long show, or we shouldn't have a long show. So, Brian and Martin might yell at each other for an hour. We'll see.
That's the show.
Yeah, that's the show.
All right, man. Have a good one, buddy.
All right. See you guys. See everybody later.
Bye.
Bye.